addition to the macro ingredients that we listed for formation of broiler starter mash, we then need micro ingredients which include 70 grams of broiler starter premix. We need 35 grams of lysine. We then also need 35 grams of threonine and 50 grams of coccidiostat. Broiler starter premix is very important since it's a premix that, or a hormone that contributes to the rapid growth or robust growth of the broiler chicks from brooding, like basically helps them in weaning. Lysine is very important since it's a trace element, so as threonine. Coccidiostat is very important since it is used for suppressing coccidiosis. Remember, we are using fish meal as a macro ingredient. Handling of fish meal and processing, as well as transportation, is prone to hosting and making the fish meal host coccidia. And coccidia is the main causative agent of coccidiosis. We lose a very high number of birds, especially broiler chicks, due to coccidiosis. When you see your chick's diarrhea poop that is chalk-like, or when you see your chick's diarrhea poop that is chocolate, or even bloody poop, that has been caused by coccidia. And we are introducing coccidiostat in our feed basically to suppress coccidiosis or coccidia, the causative agent of coccidiosis. By introducing coccidiostats in your feed, it does not mean that your feed or your chicken will be coccidia free. No. You need to introduce coccidiostats in your feed, but also observe the other biosecurity measures that will help you keep coccidiosis at par. So then, by introducing 70 grams of broiler premix, 35 grams of lysine, 35 grams of threonine, and 50 grams of coccidiostat to our feed, or rather to our list of macro ingredients that I mentioned before, which were 40 kgs of whole maize, 12 kgs of fish meal, 14 kgs of soya, and 4 kgs of lime, then our feed is complete for use. You can also take your feeds to the lab for testing, just to ensure that your feed is at the right quality. You will also add 50 grams of toxin binder. We are adding toxin binder because we want to control or check toxins such as aflatoxin that could have been brought about in the macro ingredients due to caking. For example, when you have our whole maize crushed and then it's moist, chances of it developing aflatoxin are very high. And therefore, when we add toxin binder, it comes in to help check such toxins that also could cause mortalities to our feed, to our chicken. How do you evaluate your feed? Or how do you evaluate your feed and understand that my broiler feed is performing? You evaluate your feed by looking at the growth rate of your birds, the weight gain of your birds, and the mortality of your birds. When we say mortality, we mean the number of birds that die either per day or per period, either per week. And when you say growth rate, it means how fast are the birds growing or moving from one side to another. And weight gain is the changes in the previous weight to the current weight compared to the manual that you've been given for that particular breed guiding you. Okay? You need to have a mixing surface, which can be either a cemented floor or you can use a tarpaulin. So in this case, we are using a clean plate to represent our mixing area. So that is your mixing area. It should be free from moisture, because when you have moisture, it brings in caking when you do the mixing or rather it introduces caking. And you know, when you have caking, that is a very high chance of you getting problems with the aflatoxin. Now, we say that for us to formulate our feed, we will need 40 kilos of whole maize. Now, this tablespoon will represent a spade at home or in the farm. And each spade or each spoon will represent 10 kilos of the commodity we'll have. For example, we need 40 kilos of whole maize, and therefore we'll get 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, and 40 kilos. So back at home or in the farm, after putting the whole maize on the mixing surface.
Greetings to you all, and sorry for the interruption. The class was going on so well. I hope you're enjoying. Guys, it's just a humble appeal. Please, please, please support us in producing this content. If you can, you can reach us out via our M-PESA number that I've shared on the description, 0723 777 508. You can send any contribution, 50 bob, 100 bob, 1,000 bob, 10,000, whatever you can afford. We'll really appreciate. This will go in line in acquiring the raw materials, logistics, the team, and we'll produce more and more quality content as we have so much aligned for you. For those who are abroad and would wish to do the same, you can use Moneygram, Western Union, Worldremit, blah 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 blah, in the address I've shared in the description. Kindly continue the class, enjoy. I hope you learn more, and by the end of this course you'll be able now to sustain yourself. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share to everyone, and to click the notification bell. Cheers, and see you in the next class.
You spread it to form a uniform flat surface. So you spread our maize to get a uniform flat surface, something close to that. We then need 12 kgs of fish meal. So we'll take 10 kilos of fish meal. Then we spread it evenly above the maize, the whole maize. So we need 12 kilos. I add another 2 kilos to get something close to that. We then need 14 kilos of soybean meal. So we'll take 10 kilos of soybean meal, spread it evenly on the surface to form the third layer. Get another 4 kilos of soybean meal to make it 14 and spread it evenly on the surface. We then need 4 kilos of lime. So you'll take 4 kilos of lime, then add another layer, which is the fourth layer. So these then are the macro ingredients. And then you do your mixing. Do the mixing starting from the sides, sideways, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. And then start from the sides, going outwards, like that, like that. As easy as that for those who don't have mixers. And then do it randomly, just random, like that. So you should be able to get such an even, uniform mixture. This is our mixture of the macro ingredients. Our feed is not yet complete. We then need to introduce the micro ingredients. And the first one on our list is broiler starter premix or chick premix. So we'll then use 70 grams of the same. We will use a teaspoon, which will represent 10. So we'll get our 70, mix it evenly to form a layer on top of the mixture of the macro ingredients. We then need to use lysine. This is lysine. So we'll have 35 grams of lysine added on top of the mixture or the layers. Lysine. We'll then mix threonine, 35 grams of threonine. So these are threonine. Then we'll add it to form a layer on top of the feed, simple like that. We then need to have coccidiostat. So we'll add our coccidiostat to form another smooth layer on top of the feed, like that. And then we'll have the finally the toxin binder on top of the feed. Then mix it evenly to give you it's very important that when you have the micro ingredients added to the mixture, it should be very evenly mixed so that you can get a very smooth or a very evenly mixed feed mixture. This is to avoid things like diarrhea due to the birds consuming a very high concentration of a certain micro ingredient, and even could be hazardous and lead to mortality. So this is how it will look like. So your feed then, broiler starter mash, is complete, and it should be able to look like this.